50 years ago this week, was the first meeting of the Westford, at that time called Board of Selectmen, that included a woman. And since 1992, a woman has been on the select board every single year. Congratulations to the Westford Academy theater production of Weird Sisters, The Tragedy of Macbeth. Their production was named the regional finals winner at the Massachusetts Educational Theater Guild's regional round. On Monday, April 18th, the town is going to be undergoing a phone upgrade project. Individual phone numbers at Town Hall and throughout the town will not be available. 911 will be available. There is a public forum this Thursday, April 14th, from 7 to 9 p.m. concerning the tree and invasive species inventory and management plan. The deadline to register to vote is Wednesday. New polling places is going into effect for town elections, and town elections are Tuesday, May 3rd.
Just to remind everybody that the League of Women Voters candidate night is tomorrow.
We have a request to approve the following: a flag hoisting event to commemorate the 107th anniversary of the Armenian genocide, a street closure request for the Apple Blossom Parade, banner requests for Memorial Day, the Westford Academy graduation, the Westfest Family Fun Festival. And then we have requests for the Town Common and Bandstand, Easter Sunrise Service, and then a request by the Cornerstone Congregational Church for Easter morning church service, and then a request from Ryan Cobley for Memorial Day for Sunday, May 29th. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. I'll second it.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. We have a public hearing, sale of alcohol beverages to persons under 21 years of age at the Westford Market and Liquors.
The officer believed that the individual who went into the store was under 21 years of age. The officer ended up conducting a motor vehicle stop, asked the operator for if they had a fake ID card. They stated they did not, and that the clerk in the store did not ask for any identification. The operator stated it was known to them that that was supposedly the place to go to purchase alcohol if you were underage. The officer went back into the store and ended up speaking to the store clerk. He identified himself as the owner's brother. He acknowledged he had forgot to ask for identification, said he normally does, but in this case had not. Just to point out, I was here in front of the board back on October 26th for 2 violations at the same business.
He's my brother and he doesn't work at this store normally. I had a situation that my wife was pregnant. My wife called that she has to run to the hospital. I had to leave the store at that point. But it was just the situation, you know.
Congratulations on your event. That doesn't excuse in any way allowing that to happen in your business. I don't see any reason to do anything except move to the 3rd violation as laid out in our policies.
I believe that for the 3rd violation, it's a 2-week suspension of operation. Mr. Patel, you're looking at closing your store for 2 weeks. The other thing I have to also say that does concern me is the statement that was made is that this is the place to go if you're underage and you want to buy alcohol. I do find that to be concerning.
You did have a baby, and
Yeah.
I don't want to come down like a ton of bricks. 2 separate weeks with some spacing apart would be okay with me.
My concern is that, you were just here a few months ago, right? So to me, it should be very fresh in your mind. I would hope that, you would spend a little bit more time making sure that your brother or whoever you're employing is really doing their due diligence with checking their IDs.
I'm happy to make a motion that we enforce a 2-week suspension.
Okay.
Aye.
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 Aye. Mr. Patel, we really don't want to see you again. Joint meeting with the Permanent Town Building Committee and the Clean Energy and Sustainability Committee to discuss potential sustainability upgrades to the design of the proposed new center building at 51 Main Street and determine next steps.
We removed the geothermal system. We also determined that LEED certification will not be pursued for this project, but at a minimum, we're still going to be looking at, we'll be including a sustainability consultant that will provide that kind of guidance for us on this project. Solar PV, that will be coordinated with the work that Eric is doing in the town's PV consultant, Amoresco. A lot of the initiatives, I think that we will be able to meet. There's some that we don't think we're going to be able to meet, and that's mostly because we are now, in year 5 of this project.
Our committee's interests have been taken into account, and you heard some of the examples. So we support the current proposal.
Yeah, well, I think the recommendations are good. I mean, they hit about every button on it. And they did make provisions that we could still continue with the emergency generator system. With Mike agreeing to this, I think it's a good list of things to do.
I sort of see this building now as a whole learning process for all of us that we can now carry forward to future, municipal buildings that we may be considering. And I believe that the Permanent Town Building Committee is looking for authorization to move forward.
I guess I put forward for discussion. I'm happy to make a motion that we authorize the $92,000 option.
Second, aye.
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 Aye. The request from the Pedestrian Safety Committee to support an article for town meeting to establish a 25-mile-per-hour speed limit on sections of West Prescott Street, Pleasant Street, Patton Road, and Main Street.
We looked at doing a scaled down approach in which we're evaluating just a set number of roads. As you're driving down Pleasant Street or down West Prescott, there are yellow 25-mile-an-hour advisory signs. Our proposal is to swap those signs out with appropriate signage indicating that 17C is in place. Likewise, at Main Street, we have advisory signs up. We would swap those out. We would also extend the limit to further down Main Street towards where Tadmuck is.
All right, so is there a motion to support putting this article on annual town meeting warrant?
So moved.
Moved. Second,
Aye.
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 Aye. To consider recommendations from the Access to Town Meeting Committee.
We had 800 responses from the survey. These were 800 voters of people who rarely or never attend town meeting. And this was an opportunity for their voices to be heard. One of the ones we heard over and over again is approving the potentially Wi-Fi and cell communication. A family-friendly seating area in the back of the field where families would spread out a blanket and come, with their children. Encourage all town departments and local organizations to avoid scheduling activities on town meeting dates. Formal childcare that needs to be looked into. A lot of people in town are not familiar of the whole process for town meeting. And we talk about encouraging students to get involved, but it's adults too that may need some education regarding how town meeting works. There's a remote participation work group that will continue to look into longer term approaches to remote participation.
I feel like a lot of this kind of falls under Angela Harkness's purview as a town moderator.
There are a lot of recommendations here. That my reaction is, okay, where do we go? How does this go from this amazing collection of ideas into actions?
If it's a priority for the town to encourage attendance, then we'll make it work. The town will make it work some way. And yes, there are a lot of recommendations there, but a lot of the communications are not recreating the wheel.
These recommendations are all backed up by their research. A lot of them are easy, and a lot of them I can talk to other moderators about how they're done in other communities.
We're not going to be able to address these goals and decide what we're going to do tonight. You did do what we asked you, and you did it very well and in a very timely manner. I suspect that people on your committee have some ideas and would like some input now into how to actually implement your recommendations. So I would say to be continued. ARPA funding requests to determine allocations. I asked Jody to prioritize those that we need to look at, right now because of timeliness issues.
The first one is not new, but it is the Internet Access Program to the Tadmuck Senior Housing. The second would be the electronic vote tabulators. If you skip down to number 9, this is a facilities ticketing system, Bridge to Success Summer Intervention Program. This was a school request.
So I'll make a motion to approve.
Second,
Aye.
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 Aye. A request to approve and sign the May 3rd, 2022 town election warrant.
So moved.
Second.
Aye.
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 Aye. To consider appointments and terms for the Monuments and Memorials Committee.
I move to accept these 7 applicants.
Second.
Aye.
Aye. This is a request from the town clerk to appoint election officers.
So moved.
Second. Aye.
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 You are setting the order of the warrant. I do it pretty much similar every year, but if you want to change something, please let us know.
And just coming off of the ATM recommendations agenda item where one of the recommendations was kind of shifting around warrant articles. And so if we set this tonight, then is that something we can revisit?
No, it isn't.
One of the recommendations I know had to do with educating people about the consent agenda. That actually may be a recommendation that we can implement.
I believe the moderator is planning to do that.
We need a motion to close the warrant and set the order.
So moved.
Second.
Aye.
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 Aye. Thank you, Westford. Good night, Westford. Everybody stay safe and be well.